It has been a few days, weeks actually, since we've done a haul video on what we got in the last convention. We didn't vlog the last convention because we were only there for a few hours. So, what is going on, guys? This time, just me. The wife has been busy, so I'm doing this on my own. But we went to Big Lit Comic Con. It's been about a couple weeks now, and I'm a little late on it. I should have done this, but there is a few things that I'd like to talk about. Uh, Main reason as to why we went was to meet one person, and I actually wanted to meet someone else, but I was just like, I didn't feel so strongly about it, so I wasn't too upset about it. But the person we did meet was awesome. Really enjoyed getting to meet this person, and just overall a great experience. However, it wasn't all ideal, and I'm hoping that in the future we actually decide to improve because this convention is nice. I actually like this convention. I wish it would be better, uh, just because it is a small convention. They don't need to complicate this one. So, the one I'm talking about is Big Lake Comic Con. Uh, it is in Roanoke, Virginia, and personally, it's not a bad drive. I think it's a pretty decent drive. Me and the wife, and we enjoy going down. I mean, going up there, and it's definitely nice. I actually really like going and seeing this area. It's really calm and peaceful, at least to us. You know, that's how we interpret it. And the the problem is, I'm just not gonna dilly dally here. The problem with this one was the fact that their line was not managed well. So this was not even advertised. This was something that was just kind of made. They made the VIP, which was advertised, that was respected. If you're VIP, you can come in an hour early. Cool, I respect that. And then you have your day entries, and then you have your general admission people that are just a day or a weekend pass, whatever you want to call it. And fine, do what you do. However, they were making a random, I guess you could say, random selection of people that either had bought tickets or not had bought tickets, but were cosplay. And they said, this is what they said. I didn't get their names. I'm not going to put anyone on blast, but they did say this. They were like, if you are in cosplay, please come over and to this line and come through. That is what they said. I'm not going to say it's from verbatim, but that's what they said. So a lot of people that were in cosplay, and props to them, I'm not faulting anyone for being in cosplay. I don't go to conventions in cosplay. I dress up normal. I have my little book bag. Sometimes it's clear through, sometimes it's not. Whatever. That's kind of how I go with my wife. We don't dress up. Maybe one day if we do, maybe I'll actually post about that. But regardless, we don't, and it sucked because when we went and saw that people were getting out of line to go through, some people we actually saw that went through because they were cosplaying, had gone through, went inside, and by the time I was closer to the door with my wife, they had already gotten their stuff that they may have wanted. They were going in the car or whatever, but they were already in and out doing their business. And that was a bit upsetting. Truly upsetting in my opinion. I paid, well, we paid, and we were waiting, and the problem was they only had like two or three people that were going through the door. You know that on Saturday it's going to be, which was a Saturday Sunday thing, and you know that if those are your busiest, as your Saturday is going to be the busiest, and people are going to be on there on time, which is what we were on time, and you're just gonna mosey on there slowly. I don't think that's okay. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. And so, what really ticked me and the wife off was the fact that one of the employees or volunteers, whatever you want to say, they were talking about photo shoots, and some people were asking because apparently one of the guys was was asked by one of the people in the line. I didn't hear it. I overheard what they were saying, but I didn't overhear when the person was asked. But the person was asked, and then they were like, what are we going to do with people that have photo ops in a few minutes and they haven't been able to get inside? This was the answer of one of the volunteers or other people in charge, whatever you want to call it. And they basically said, tough luck. This is exactly what they said, actually. This is exactly what they said. Tough luck. They should have been here sooner. That's not an answer. I'm sorry, but that is not an acceptable answer. If you are a volunteer or someone that is working within this convention, that's not okay to say, especially for people to hear in the line. I didn't buy any photo ops, thankfully. Thankfully. You know, we had a similar experience when we went to our last convention back in South Carolina. I believe we talked about this in the other video, but it was definitely upsetting to hear people actively saying, tough titties, they should have just been here earlier. Well, here's the fun fact about that, my friend. These people were not, they were in line waiting to get in, but because people on your end weren't able to get these people in soon enough, that's the problem. You can't just have 2 or 3 people be in charge, because honestly, that is infuriating. That is infuriating. And I feel bad for those people that weren't able to get in. I know that they messed their photo up because they were way behind me, I'm sure. And that was just really messed up. You don't say that. You really don't. And so I was not a fan of that. I was not a fan of the way people were, waiting in line, or, some people were able to skip the line because of being in costume. That's not okay. And then, to me, to make things slightly a little more annoying for me, was once we got inside, once we were able to go, I remember that area being kind of cleared out. And only people that was around there was people like just hanging around, kind of like a lounge area, let's put it that way. But they have decided, and I get why, but they have other places they could have done this. They decided that in this open area, while you're going in, because when you go in, you have steps to go down to then go through a metal detector, and then you go through, and the problem was people were coming out as well. And there's not a lot of room to do all this. You have people have a table right there where you get a little your little wristband to say you've been checked and whatnot, and you go in and out, whatever. But they had gaming going on right there in that area, which to me was like cool, but no, not really. Like, you could have done this somewhere else. Put this elsewhere so that when people are going, you have your table for people to come in and get the wristbands. They're able to walk in and out rather easily, rather than congesting that area up, which is infuriating. I get that you're trying to work with the space as best as possible, but the problem is that people are walking in and out. That is your busiest area, and it was quite busy in there. So that is my problem with that convention. I know I was a little bit long-winded. It's almost 10 minutes already, and I apologize for that. But it truly was annoying to see that people that were within the place, and I seen the actual person in charge of this convention maybe minutes later coming out. While I was in line, I didn't mention this. He came out, I think JC or something like that. I don't remember. I just know his face and his little hairstyle. I know who he is, and he went outside and he was doing a Facebook Live. Oh my God, like, dude, your people who are told by you are not doing what they're supposed to. That's not okay. That's not okay. Do better. Be better. And they have already announced that for Roanoke, they're going to be having a convention in August. And depending on that lineup, I may or may not go with the wife. And we'll see. We shall see. For the convention that they're doing even further up from where we're at, better luck, you guys. I hope you guys take care of your people much, much better. Because that can really determine sometimes whether you'll get people coming back or not. Not that it'll matter maybe to some people in the grand scheme of things, but to those like me, it does matter. But anyway, that is the sadness. That is the frustrating part of it. And I've rambled long enough on that. That sad experience. I've rambled on that. Now, as far as our actual, um, who we were able to meet, we met Carrie Payton, and I was so happy. Well, we were so happy to meet him. He has been on our list for a long time. He has voiced so many characters in DC. He's been Cyborg. He's been Aqualad. He's been Cyborg for so long. Um, I've been a huge fan of him in The Walking Dead as King Ezekiel, and just overall a great guy. I mean, truly and honestly, a really phenomenal actor. Love him for all the roles he's been able to do, and he's done much more as well. And we were able to get two Funko signed. Yes, it was expensive to do this, but he was worth going up there. He was the main reason we got our King Ezekiel and our Cyborg signed. I'm sorry, but the glare there. There you go. Both signed. We've already got them in our little plastics. And honestly, I was glad that we were able to meet him. He is such a hard guy to have come by this part of the country. So we were glad to have him. So I'm very, very thankful because I have to keep an eye on him. I've been keeping an eye on him for quite some time to be like, hey, is he going to be around here? Was it the closest he had been before seeing that he was announced here was in Tennessee and Chattanooga, and I was not really wanting to go all the way for that. I mean, they had a few others, but I'm like, no, we're not really wanting to make a trip that far. So definitely was nice to have met him. He was nice. The meeting wasn't even that long, maybe 3 or 5 minutes at most. And he was definitely just a great, sweet guy, and just really, really happy to have been able to meet this guy. The other person I didn't get to meet that I wanted to meet, which ironically last week we went to a bookstore and we were looking for. I was looking for some Star Wars books, and the person I wanted to meet was none other than Timothy Zahn, the guy who wrote the Thrawn trilogy, a few other Thrawn books, and just some other Star Wars Legends books. And ironically, last week I found some of those books for a ridiculously low price. I was stunned that I was able to find those books and more. I cannot wait to read some of those books. Truly, truly excited for that. So I'm really, really happy to have been able to cop those books. But the one I really wanted to get signed, he had at his table for $30, and I was like, nope. Would have wanted to meet the guy, but he had a few other people at his table at the time, and there was so much traffic, and I was just like, nah, it's okay. Maybe another time. But definitely really cool to have seen this guy and actually, I would have asked him, are you excited for? And I would have probably fanboyed a little bit by the question, like, are you excited to maybe see Thrawn very soon in live action? I'm sure he would have been like, yeah, sure, whatever. I think that would have been fun, but definitely still, regardless, I saw the guy, and I think that's good enough for me. So, anyway, we did get other stuff though. I'm gonna go ahead and get into those. We had this vendor who sold a lot of Funkos for $5, and we were just like, we can't pass this up. So I'm going to show you guys what we were able to find. We found this Fuzzy Lumpkins, Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken. Oh, Cow. Sorry, from the Cow and Chicken show. We love Cartoon Network. We're big fans. Neo from The Matrix. Eve from WALL-E. We've gotten really big into the Funko collection, guys, so bear with me. Chicken, Cow and Chicken, potato. Put that there. The Marvel's What If Queen General Ramonda. Great character. I loved watching her and just watching the Wakanda Forever movie that came out recently. Morpheus, also from The Matrix. And last but not least, Spock from Star Trek. So we were able to cop these these Funkos. I'm so used to saying mangoes. All these Funkos at the place, and we actually had a little Spider-Man bag, which was kind of funny. But definitely, it was nice to get these Funkos pretty cheaply, and just overall fun to be able to go there and get these things. I was looking for my guy who he normally sells pretty cheap manga. He wasn't there this year. I was kind of upset. I don't know what happened to him. I hope that he's okay. But overall, I gotta say, it was nice to meet Carrie. But as far as convention managing that they had, it wasn't that great. Wasn't a fan of. So again, hopefully Big Lick can learn from this and they can do better. I really hope that they take into consideration that some people were screwed over because of their poor managing, and that definitely sucked. So, thank you guys. Though that is it for me. Again, I hope to be there in the summer. Hopefully, they have a good lineup and things get better. But thank you guys. As always, though, if you guys have any suggestions, if you were there, what did you guys think? What were your or even if you go to just general conventions, what is your experience? I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. Really, it would mean a lot to me to know what you guys think. I love having feedback. But thank you guys so much. We have a few conventions lined up in the next coming month. It's coming sooner rather than later. We have, I want to say, at least two in mind in the next 2 months. And then summer's going to be kind of hectic when it comes to that. So a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happening, guys. So thank you. As always, though, stay safe, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting on? So thank you. As always, though, stay safe. Take care of yourselves and others. And I will catch you all later.